Right then.
Right then.
Evening all. So many people in the comments already. So thank you all so much for coming to join us for our hourly chat on a Thursday evening. So I just wanted to start by just a couple of sort of notes, really. Now, just say thank you to everyone that joins us live. It's always great to see you here, and thank you to everyone that catches up. We had nearly 8,000 catch up on our last live, so
bonkers,
it is
isn't it?
bonkers.
Yeah.
So thanks for everyone for taking the time to watch our videos. And I just wonder, obviously, the big news has been all about our group cruise, which we've been blown away by how many people have pre-registered, haven't we, Paul? It's just been, I get quite emotional thinking about it because it's just blown our minds at how many people have. And we just wanted to update that for travellers that want to come from other countries. Now Dan's worked behind the scenes. Bless him, he's been working his little socks off, hasn't he? And he's now able to accept credit card payments from all around the world now. And we've had people pre-register from Australia, from America, from Holland, and it's just been mind-blowing, hasn't it?
Well, I just have to interject because I'm going to get a word in edgeways. Credit cards from all around the world, but that doesn't include American Express. And the reason being is their charges are just too high.
Yes. So just that little bit about the group cruise. So that's brilliant. Let's have a look. Like, it makes me laugh. I looked at this about an hour or so to go check, obviously, that everything was working. And Sean, it's lovely to always see Sean here. And he was here. I put the comment on at 12 o'clock this afternoon. So I hope you had a fabulous time in Spain. Sean's just been sunning himself in sunny Spain. And he always makes a really good point. If you've got a question for us, please start with question in capitals because then we can pick it out from the comments.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Yes, do give us a thumbs up because obviously that...
So if you don't give it a thumbs up, I'm going to be like Liam Neeson. I got a special set of skills and I'm going to come and find you.
No. So yeah, simple things like interacting with us after the video and put a comment in and putting the thumbs up just shows YouTube that you enjoy watching us. So that's very much appreciated. And Kevin's here. Kevin was early too. That was at 4:30. And also Jack's here. He was early as well. So lovely to see you guys. So let's go and see what we've got for the first comment. And I'll come and say hi's as we go along. Let's have a look.
Paula Chan was pretty prompt as well.
Oh, yes, Paula.
Very good, Paula.
Was a bit keen, would be back in an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Grace is here, so I'd love to see Grace.
I don't think Sean's been sat in front of his screen since midday.
No, I'm sure he hasn't. Yeah. And Google Claire's in the house, so it's nice to see Google Claire. It's a mighty hot one down in Essex. Yeah, we've come back from Mallorca and obviously our cruise on Marella Voyager, which we're here to talk about. So any questions about Marella Cruises, about a cruise and stay, about the hotel we had in Palmanova, please just fire them in the comments. We come home, England's having this heat wave, which is just, we just don't get that sort of weather normally. We might have the odd sunny day, but since we've been home, it's just been hot. We've got a big fan behind the computer here just going because it's just...
Yeah, it's nice to have a fan, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Come on, Eddie.
Obviously, I've normally got, I'm at that funny age as well, so I've got 3 fans on me at one time. Make of it what you will.
So I'm just looking at my hair. I went to my usual hairdressers about a week or so ago, and my 3 different guys cut my hair, and none of those 3 were there. And there was a new guy there, and he was like a pig with a rifle, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not the best cut, is it? But hopefully, by the time we go on our next cruise, you'll have a decent haircut.
Dragged through a hedge backwards.
Exactly.
There's no excuse why I haven't had a shave, mine. Well, I have got an excuse because I've had to have some dental work done this week.
Well, you know, we said I had toothache, didn't I, last time? And then we went to the dentist and everything was fine. And then as soon as we got on the Voyager, Paul's like, oh my God, my tooth's a bit wobbly and it feels a bit odd. And you had quite a bit of toothache, didn't you?
I did.
Anyway, you went to that. We got a lovely dentist, Julian and Kate, who looks after us. And Paul went there yesterday, whipped it out. So Paul's only got 2 teeth left now.
Yeah. And once I'm down to 1, what can you call me then?
Juanita.
That's it.
Anyway, back to cruising. Like, so Phil's getting on Marella Voyager on the 16th. What are you saying there?
So we're like the poor man's Morecambe and Wise.
Well, very poor, yes. Corinne said, evening from hot and sunny Surrey, plants watered, dinner eaten right there. Yeah, we're planning to go out in the garden after this and do all our chores out there. Yeah, Dan's here. lovely to see Dan as always. We've been chatting. Well, we chat nearly every hour now, don't we? The group cruise stuff. But Dan's off on the Sky Princess, isn't he?
Yes.
For the week, for 2 weeks actually. So he's going to be scanning out all the places of what we can do and have some chats with the people on board about our group cruise in 2025.
Is it on Sky? Is that on a Sky ship, Sky Princess?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
you know that,
because I don't know. I didn't know that. Oh no, of course I did know that because you blurted it out about 3 weeks ago.
I did, didn't I?
Can I just go back to something you said just now? Before we started this live, we've had a real good day today. I bought a car today as well, which is nice to keep the business ticking over. So I bought a car. I've got some stuff to do tomorrow, car related as well. And then we've been blogging virtually all day, doing a load of work on Marella stuff. Now, before this live started, Carole promised me she's going to lure me into the garden with some relaxation and a cup of coffee. Now, all of a sudden, on live television, where I can't look at her and swear, that relaxation and a nice cup of coffee is now turned into going in the garden to do some chores.
Well, just a bit of watering, a bit of chopping. Paulie, don't be rude. Anyway, Patrick and Francie, always lovely to see you guys. And Philippa's early, which is very unusual. So thank you, Philippa.
She's probably only going to stay for 10 minutes, though. I think.
I know. Tony's saying he's even from a grey Los Angeles. Well, what makes a change because you normally have sunny and we normally have grey.
Yeah,
so
it's our turn, Tony.
Our turn. So Patrick and Francis are asked. Our first question is: how does Voyager compare to the other Marella ships you've been on? And is Discovery still your favourite? Do you want to start?
Well, let me tell you this, Patrick and Francis. We thought the new areas on the Voyager were fabulous. And obviously there's lots of similarities with Explorer. But the upshot is, if we could have the atrium out of Discovery and put it into the Voyager, that would be the perfect Marella ship.
Totally agree.
Because that's what it that atrium area on the two Discovery ships it's a fabulous. It's not a blingy ship by any stretch of the imagination, but that area is fabulous.
Yeah.
And what I love about it as well is they use it. You get some ships with a fabulous atrium that don't get used. They use it on Discovery. They have shows there. They have every evening they have like the professional dancers you can join in, all that sort of stuff. But in on the Voyager and on the Explorer ships, it's a sort of it's there.
Yeah.
But it's like receptions at the bottom, and it's
still used for the same things. There's still entertainment there. There's still the dancers there. But because it's so much smaller, it was really hard when there was entertainment there to get a view because you couldn't. So we felt that was lacking off the Voyager, which is on the Discovery ships. But what's now on the Voyager with the new areas, like we love the kitchens. We love that concept of the food hall rather than people helping themselves at the buffet. It was all served. We loved the summer house at the back that had the one side Abulas and the other side Nanas.
Nonnas. And we love the electric room as well, which is the bar, I suppose, bar 11.
Bar 11 equivalent.
Replacement, equivalent, whatever you want to call it. That's a fab place, and that's like really funky when you go in there. It's really like... The
difference for those that don't know is the Explorers and the Voyagers are all old celebrity cruiser ships. The Discoveries are old Royal Caribbean ships, Splendor of the Seas, and I think it was Vision of the Seas, but I might be wrong there. And they have this fantastic atrium. So yeah, we felt that if you could combine the two, it would be perfect. But we thoroughly enjoyed our time on Voyager.
We had a fabulous time.
We had a great time. So Tina's here, so it's always nice to see Tina and Fox Travels. So sunny Durham, who'd have thought?
And the next people.
Oh yes.
And our cruise was thoroughly enhanced by these two gentlemen, Johnny and Will. They're fabulous company, and they're such a good laugh.
They are. We laugh so much.
We did. And they're a very bad influence because you know that me and Carole are always really well behaved. We hardly ever have a drink, and we definitely don't have a late drink. These two, honestly, add us up till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
No, thank you guys for your company. It was great to finally meet you because we've been chatting obviously online. So but you really did, as Paul said it perfectly. You enhanced our holiday, and we can't wait to cruise with you again. So So hopefully that will happen in the not too distant
So once
future.
Marella gets another new ship out, we'll be all over it.
So everywhere sunny, look. So Lou B's here and Janet's saying it's even sunny in Lancashire and Manchester. So it's mad, isn't it? But it's nice. It's June. We should have some sunshine in England and in the UK. Catherine's got it right. Look, Catherine's watching the garden with a glass of crisp white. Be interesting to hear your views on the new ship compared to the others. So yes,
I bet nobody's making Catherine cut bushes down and mow.
Well, you wouldn't do it early because it was too hot. Come 9 o'clock tonight, it'll be nice and cool.
Yeah, it will be because I shan't be out there.
So yeah, we're not having crisp white. Well, I'm on the crisp clear because we're in between cruises. We're trying not to drink at home, isn't it? Because, like you say, we enjoy a drink on the ship and trying to lose the cruise weight as usual, isn't it? So we've been very healthy.
We're trying to lose this cruise weight and about the 35 cruise weights before that.
So let's have a look at the next question. So do put a question. Trouble Johnny will have pre-registered for our group cruise. So yeah, woo, exactly that. Lots of people, and Grace is pre-registered. So, like I say, if everyone that pre-registers books, it's going to be mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like I say, if you don't want to book now, it's going to be open. Our group cruise is going to be open until final balance date. So, yes, it's very, very exciting. So let's see. So Jolly 234 full. And I was wondering how you found the food in the kitchens compared to islands.
Right, I'm going to field this because I love food. What we did is we made a conscious effort to eat at every possible place there was available on the ship.
We did.
And we ate at every single place that's available on the ship, which meant that we only went to the kitchen. No, we actually
three times.
Oh no, we went to the kitchen 3 times. Yeah, because I was thinking, I forgot about the late night stuff as well. I think the kitchens is fabulous, and I know it's a sort of they've sort of stolen the idea straight off Virgin with Virgin's whatever
galley
with the galley. It's not.
I don't know if they've stolen it. They've just come up with the same concept.
The same concept. They come up with the same concept 5 years after somebody else came up with it. So we're not calling it stealing. We're calling it the same concept. But I was reading a thing on Facebook only yesterday, and there was a man on there, and he was telling everybody on how rubbish the kitchens was, and how all the queues were ridiculous, and they won't give me a decent portion, and I don't like to ask for a bigger portion. And then somebody said to him, "So when did you go on the Voyager then?" And his answer was, "I haven't actually been on there."
Yeah.
So it just goes to show what morons are out there. This is what I think. I think it's a fabulous idea. We spoke to a couple of the chefs on day one.
Yeah.
And what they do is lunch. When you go for lunch, it's the same every day. Every single day, it's the same menu for lunch. But for dinner, it changes all the time. There's 5 or 6 different pies they do at the pastry crust, at the gravy boat, which was Carole's.
Yeah,
the roast dinner.
Yorkshire pudding wraps.
They do Yorkshire pudding wraps, which changes all the time, and the roast vegetables and that sort of stuff changes. Every single outlet, excuse me, in the evening changes what they've had from the lunch, and that also changes the next day. So it's not like you're having chicken tikka masala for lunch, lamb rogan josh for dinner, and it'll be the same the next day. It will be the same on the lunch, but not on the dinner.
Yeah, dinner's always different.
But I thought it was a great idea. The ship was very full. I don't know if it was full capacity, but it was certainly very full. We actually got to look around some cabins, and we were told there was only 4 or 5 cabins that we could look around because it was pretty chock-a-block. So, but we never experienced any major queuing. All the food was piping hot. All the food was of a good standard.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's a big old thumbs up
from a cleanliness point of view. I really don't like buffets. I don't like, you watch people pick up plates, put them back down, hold them to their chest. You see people still walk in that don't gel their hands or wash their hands, and that really frustrates me. So for people to go to the kitchens and have it served, and in smaller, I mean, it's decent portions. They're not small, are they? And if you could go back as many times as you wanted, it's not a problem. I like the diverse selection in there because you had the Asian, you had the Indian, you had the Greek, you had salads, you had like a patisserie. I think the choice was really, really good. And it sort of covered everything that you would get in the Islands buffet before, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it was just all in, you know, the food basically, I'm not saying it's the same, but it's just, well, I'm saying it's the same. It's just in different pots. Anyway, if that makes sense.
Well, I didn't even know what you're saying.
I
thought the food was excellent.
We like the kitchens.
And
at night they did the fantastic butter curry, didn't they?
Butter chicken.
Oh, butter chicken.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is why, kids, you should never drink.
And breakfast in the kitchens was fabulous because every station had different sorts of breakfast, and you could get proper cooked English breakfast, couldn't you?
But anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. You should never drink, kids, because what happens when you drink is you go to the kitchens about 11:30 at night, and you have butter chicken and chips and a cheeseburger.
Well, you do.
And you use your cheeseburger to mop up your butter chicken. And I have to say, it's the future.
Spectacular. Oh, dear.
I don't know why I'm trying to lose cruise weight, to be honest.
Well, so Jerry's here as well. So lovely to see Jerry.
Yes, Jerry. Sorry, it was nice to see you, Jerry. Sorry, I had another thought in my head. My one complaint with the kitchens is it shuts at midnight. Now, you can't have a midnight buffet that shuts at midnight. It needs to be open till 1 or 2 in the morning. But if it had been, instead of going there twice during the cruise for late food, we probably would have gone there every night. So they were probably doing us a favour.
We went there probably about 3 times in the week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kitchens was a hit with us. Grace said they're also an hour early. Johnny Rob's in the house.
Ho, ho, ho.
And Morris is here. Love to see Morris. Would you recommend Marella? Definitely. Now, when I first walked on Marella Voyager, it felt like I was putting on a comfortable pair of shoes because it was like, oh my God, the staff, I think, and we both said this when we were on there, from the guys that were just the cleaning the rails on the staircase to the captain to anyone that you met, always smiling, always stopping for a chat, always, hey, hi, how are you? How's things going?
It would take you a fortnight to walk from one end of the ship to the other because they all said hello. They all smiled at you. And like we said on the P&O thing, there was
compare
nothing
it
wrong
to P&O, the service was efficient and good, but it didn't have that personality. Yeah. Morella's got personality, and we love that everyone, it's a really happy ship, wasn't it?
Totally.
I felt it was a maiden cruise. We talked to some staff, and obviously there was some teething issues throughout the ships because it was new teams coming together, a new personalities working together, which always can be a little bit difficult. We did find in the MDR that the service was very, very slow, and it looked like they had a lot of new staff in there. But if you're going to book a maiden cruise on a ship, then I think you have to go with a realistic idea that that's going to be the case. But you wouldn't know in half the places, would you?
No, totally.
The bars, we got served mostly very quick, except Squid and Anchor used to get absolutely rammed. That's one of the bar lounge that has a lot of entertainment in.
The pub,
and the live room's now called, if you know Marella, the live room's now called the Arts House, and that used to get rammed. So those were 2 places that if you went there in certain times, you had to wait for drinks, but it was easier to go to another bar and just take it there.
Yeah.
So there is lots of learning going on within the ship, but I think for a maiden cruise, the staff were absolutely spectacular and just so happy. It was just joyful to sit there and watch the staff just having the banter with the or with everyone, weren't they?
Totally.
So I think that's the standout thing with Marella. The staff on all the cruises we've been on, I think they are the happiest crew at sea. Totally. I really do believe that. So yes, Morris, to answer your question, definitely. So Marco Lux, who was saying yes, he messaged us on Facebook saying he's going on Marella Voyager in a few weeks. Please, can you talk to us a little bit about the etiquette with gratuities and how do they work?
This is an easy one. You don't have to pay any gratuities because it's all included in your fare. What we always do is the trouble is with Marella, if you singles think, they went above and beyond, you'd end up spending £97,000.
Yeah.
But if you, like your cabin steward, we actually had 3 cabin stewards looking after us. So rather than have one person, they would have banks of 3 doing
which was super.
So we always, unless they do a horrible job, we'll always leave them some extra money anyway. But if you've got a particular favorite barman, or if you're
Yeah.
going to a particular restaurant where, you know, say you were going to the main dining room every night and you had the same table, which you can request,
Yeah.
and you particularly like that, you can just tip them accordingly.
But you don't have to.
But you don't have to. There's no hidden charges. I've just done a post on our website. Basically what you get with a Marella.
What's included in a Marella cruise, because that's one thing we love about it. You pay the price, and we've come home probably with spending, because we did some specialty dining. We've spent about, what, £140?
We did the three we did the three sort of proper specialty restaurants. There's also
proper.
Yeah, but you'll know what I mean when I say it, if you let me finish. There's three proper specialty restaurants, and there's one called Platters, which is only, you can go into Platters, and we had sort of like a late lunch or early dinner, and
they open at 3,
and you get meats and cheeses, and there's vegetarian options, there's light bites, that sort of thing. Now, for two of us, we went in there, and it was £9 something, like £9.65. It wasn't even a fiver a head.
Yeah.
So we did the three main specialty restaurants, which is the proper full-blown 3-course meals.
Yeah, so that's Surf and Turf, Carole, and Silver Fork.
Silver Fork, and then we did Platters, which, like I said, was less than a tenner.
Yeah.
And we didn't upgrade the drinks package, which even if you want to upgrade the drinks package from day one, it's only £80 for the whole week per person. So it's £11 something a day. But there's loads of stuff on the standard all-inclusive. And we looked at it and we thought, well, what would I drink out of that? So what they do, which I like, which other cruise lines don't do, if you think to yourself, well, I want a bottle of Magners today because I haven't had a cider for a couple of days or whatever, because they only got Strongbow on the standard package, which I don't like. So say I think, well, I'll have a bottle of Magners today. It's £3.50.
Yeah.
So if I want a bottle of Magners, or if I want 3 bottles of Magners, that's still cheaper than upgrading to the all-inclusive.
Yeah.
As it was, I had a
You drank lager most of the time.
I drank lager most of the time. Lots of bottled lager options.
Yeah.
One draft lager option. But I mean, there was like 7, 8 different options on the bottles. Peroni and all that sort of stuff. So there was some decent stuff.
There's also the standard wine was really good. Yeah. So we didn't feel the need to upgrade. And cocktail wise, I had a few different cocktails that weren't on the standard, and again they were £3.50. And also, if there's a particular cocktail that you like, ask for it, because Bloody Mary, I couldn't find it on any of the menus, but if you asked for it, you got it, and that was included in the standard
as well. So yeah.
So going back to Marco Lux's question with the gratuities, don't worry about it because it's all included. You're not going to get any unexpected bill or costs on your account.
Yeah. So that was about 20 minutes ago. Marco asked that question, but I went off on a proper old tangent.
Did. And also with the Marella have got a Voyager app, not a Voyager app. It's called the
Explorer.
No, it's
Voyager. It's called
what is it called? Johnny and Will help us out.
It's called the Virgin Voyages P&O Princess.
You go to the Navigate app. That's it. They got the Navigate app on your phone, and that worked really well, didn't it? It worked really well for booking, and it worked really well for checking your account. So if there is anything you think, oh, that's not quite right, because we looked, we thought, oh, why is that like £7 on there? But then I remembered they had a couple of cocktails.
I don't know what Morella's done, but they better tell all the other cruise lines, because like you said, the app I felt was good, very good indeed. Never had any issues with it at all, and scarily, the Wi-Fi was pretty decent.
Yes, it was.
You couldn't
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm going to contradict myself before I even say it. While we were away, there was a big race meeting on, and I was actually watching some of that race meeting on my phone on the Wi-Fi.
Streaming it.
So yeah, there's a big thumbs up for the Wi-Fi.
Well, we did a live, Paulie.
Oh, Chris, I forgot about that. We did
with our door open last week.
Yeah. That was a week
that was
ago.
only last week, so he's forgotten about it. Anyway, so let's have a look to see what. So Kevin's going on Explorer 2 next week, so have a fab time. And that's one thing that TUI do really well, Marella Cruises, is if you're from the UK, then you can go from regional airports. So that's always a big plus, having to then go into the major airports. And we went from Bristol, which for us is only an hour from us, which is great. So Heather's asking how many passengers are on a Voyager. It's just over 1,800. So it's not a huge ship.
Carole looked at me then. I didn't have a clue.
Yes, just 1,880 something, I think. But it's a really. I think the more we cruise is our sort of ideal ship size, isn't it? We like a smaller ship. So it's a decent size.
Kevin's got a question there.
New York wants to know how you do.
How you doing? Bada boom.
We're doing
so I've
good.
just alienated everybody from New York. Yeah, we're doing good, thanks, Kevin.
Yes, we're in New York in August, so we can't wait. So hopefully catching up with
Well, we're not in New York for my birthday, but my birthday is part of the whole shebang that's going on. So very, very exciting.
We've got a couple of very exciting cruises coming up. One in July for my birthday, and one in August for yours. But we'll talk about that another time. So we're here to talk about answer all these questions. So let's see. So lots of people here, which is so good to see. So there's 246 of you here now. So thank you so much. So give us a thumbs up if you're liking what you're seeing. Oh, Lou's asking, we're Boys Life. Lovely. I've always liked both of them. Seem nice guys. Do you know, it was when I seen it on the program, because I had no idea, I said to Paul, oh my God, it must be a tribute. It can't be the real Boys Life. And he said, well, why would they have a tribute on? It's an all-beer cruise, so maybe they are treating us to some special entertainment.
I tried to explain to Carole that a tribute is not allowed to have the same name as the actual act. So
I did understand,
and she was like, oh, but they were lovely. There was a bottom grabbing incident, which none of us was involved in, I want to add.
Yeah.
Which one of the boys were not very happy with. And there was a woman, she went
Why
up,
would someone think it's acceptable when you're stood having a photo with a celebrity that you could pinch their bum?
And I can't remember which one it was.
It was Keith.
And he was very, very annoyed. And
well, I don't blame him. You don't.
I think there was words along the lines of, if my wife was here now, she would probably knock you out.
No, I don't think you said that. But they basically, in the Sweden anchor, they closed it down so that they could get the guys in there, and then you could go and have a photo opportunity with them. You didn't have time to chat, but they were very pleasant. They smiled and said thank you very much stuff. And then they came on in the Broadway show lounge and did 2 shows, one at 8:30 and one at 10:30. And oh my God, it was amazing, wasn't it? The atmosphere, making me go goosey now. They're 2 funny Irish guys, great personalities, but also great voices that sang a lot of, obviously, Boyzone. For those that don't know who Boys Life are, Keith Duffy used to be in Boyzone, a big Irish band with Ronan Keating, and
Brian McFadden
was Westlife. Yes. So now
I believe at one time, I think Ronan Keating used to manage, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
so. But it was amazing. So that was a huge hit, and it went down the whole.
I thought,
because you had a bit of mixed feelings about it, didn't you?
I thought, I'm going to enjoy this, but I wasn't feeling, oh my God, this is going to be the best thing ever. And we went, and I have to say, it was absolutely fantastic. It was such a good show, and because of dinner restrictions, we couldn't do the first show. And then we spoke to somebody, and they said, oh yeah, we got to the theatre the sort of normal time we would get there, and we had to sit right at the back because that's how busy it was. And then when we went to the second show, we made sure we got there nice and early.
Yeah.
And even then we had to queue outside. And then when we got in, we got about 3 or 4 rows from the front. And we're thinking, oh, obviously it's not going to be as busy as the first show that people were saying. But by the time it come on, you looked around and there was about 8 empty seats. I would have thought all there was.
Yeah. So let's see. Lou said she likes my dress. It's actually a top. It's got lemons on. Yeah. Yes.
And she's completely naked under that.
No,
top.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, actually, not. You can tell the weather's warmed up. Normally now we'd be sat in here. We'd have not this top, but a top on, and then we'd have pajama bottoms on because that's how rock and roll we are. But we've got shorts on today because it's lovely and warm.
So Leanne's asking how much to get your hair washed and blow dried on the ship. On our website, we've got spa prices, so go and check that out. Paul hasn't had a chance to update that yet, and I haven't got my Marella box with me to get I should have brought my Marella box, shouldn't I?
I would do it tonight.
Get my Marella box?
I'll go and get it. I would do it tonight, but apparently I've got to go out and mow the lawn and
I'll go and get it.
I'll go and get it. So I'm going to get a drink. Get me a can of Coke then while you're there. Oh, she left me on my own. Oh no. I don't know. She never lets me have this She never lets me have the mouse. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna. Oh, sorry to go back to Marco, but this is like I'm just quite. I'm not very adept at scrolling and pressing buttons. We did say on the live that hopefully we were going to get Elton John on last night. No, we didn't. But we did have we had a rock show from the entertainment team, which was very good. But no Elton John, sadly. Carole's coming up here with her special box now. So she's going to show you all that.
Yes.
I just clicked on.
For every cruise line, I have a special box where I keep I collect all sorts of silly stuff. Don't I, Pauline? So I will have a root through my special box to see if I can find some stuff to show you.
I foolishly, about a year ago, we had a boarding pass for a flight going somewhere. A boarding pass. You know, not like the Turin Shroud or a piece of the ceiling from the Sistine Chapel. A boarding pass. I threw it in the bin. Oh my God. It was like I'd set fire to the house. You better get that back out there. That's all memories, that is.
Anyway, so I will rifle through that. But let's go into another. Did you answer?
Yeah.
About Elton John?
Yeah, no Elton John. No.
So, the exchange. No, first thing I want to say about the exchange is we had difficulty on when you book a cruise with Marella, you get what it's called the cruise control, which is like your hub that you can check obviously all your details of your cruise and book things. Now we could book specialty restaurants. Well, we could book Surf and Turf and Carole. We couldn't book Silver Fork, could we?
Silver Fork wasn't even appearing.
And we couldn't get on to book the exchange, but some people did. So that was a little bit of a frustrating thing. And when we got on board, we managed to book it eventually, didn't we? But definitely, if you want to go to the exchange, make sure it's on your cruise control or book it on the first day you get on because it's really, really popular.
It only seats 30, 35 people, something like that.
Yeah.
So
the lock-in exchange.
So make sure there's no code on there, right? Oh my God, you nearly gave the secret code away. 30, 35 people. They do 2 sort of special nights, which is one's called the lock-in, one's called
the heist.
The heist. And on the other nights it's still open, but it's you don't have to pay to go in. There's still some entertainment on, but you don't know what the entertainment's going to be. So yeah, you can do a freebie night. It's a first come, first serve, but we would thoroughly recommend. We went and saw the lock-in, and the guys that are involved in it.
Yeah, brilliant.
We got to know them over the course of the week and had a chat with them and a drink with them. And they're just so talented.
Yeah.
And what I loved especially was, even though we'd met, what's his name?
Lewis.
Even though we'd met Lewis a few nights before, and we'd had a lovely chat to him because he wasn't working that night. When we got in there, he obviously knew our names and he singled out a few people to not pick on, because that's not the right word, but to get involved with the show.
Yeah.
And it was fabulous. But even though we'd been drinking and having a chat a few nights before, not for 1 second did he break character throughout the whole show. And it was like, I think the first 5 minutes, people were just looking around and it's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
But
it's a great experience.
It's great.
We've just put a post on our website. Well, Paulie's done it this morning and it's just uploaded all about the exchange. It gives you a few pictures and stuff. But it's a new concept to Marella. We thought it's a great addition.
Great. And again, you do have to pay extra if you go on the 2 special nights, but it's 15 quid all bar 5p, 14.95 I think. But what you do get, which is a theme throughout the ship, is different areas on the ship have got exclusive cocktails that are only available at that venue. And what you get in with your £15, 14.95, is you get 3 exclusive to the exchange cocktails, which would normally cost you 3.5, 4 quid anyway. So your £15 entrance fee, you've covered 75% of it just with the cocktails you get. So we thought we did have somebody say to us, well, I've got the Premier all-inclusive, so I'm not getting the value for money because I can have those cocktails anyway. But, you know, them's the breaks, as they say.
Deborah, is there any bad points about the cruise? There was nothing really that we thought, oh my God, this isn't good. I think there were some frustrations with service in the Squid and Anchor and the Arts House at time, because there just didn't seem to be enough waiters around. Particularly, we had an afternoon where Jenny Rylan, the lady from The Chase, what's her name?
I know what her name is, but I'm just going to see how long it goes on.
Jenny Ryan, I'm sure it's Ryan.
Jenny Ryland is actually the sister of a man that Carole used to work with years ago.
But anyway, Jenny Ryan,
the vixen off the
yeah,
Chase.
she did a Q&A, sort of an audience with in the Squid and Anchor, and the queue for the bar, I stood in it because Paul said I thought he was going to lose the plot, and I must say it took a good 20 minutes, half an hour to get a drink, so that was frustrating. But again, I think because it's a maiden cruise, whether there's staff finding their feet, I don't know, but that was frustrating. But apart from that, can you think of anything?
Yes, I can.
Oh.
And it wasn't even on the ship. This, for me, the biggest disappointment I encountered throughout the whole cruise is we went on the excursion. Now, what I like with Marella excursions is that it wasn't a rip-off. It was like 50 or 60 quid, and it was a whole day out. And we went to Saint-Tropez, and we went to Grimald.
It was lovely.
3 beautiful places. We were out for 7 or 8 hours, and I thought for 60 quid, which we booked it before we went, that was anything excursion we booked, I thought was good value for money. But when we got back, it was like all the excursions got back to the port at the same time, and it was a tender port. So it meant that there were more than 3 tender boats full of people queuing.
Yeah.
It was in a place called Saint Raphael. It was easily 80, 85 degrees. So you had to queue with no shade whatsoever. There was no refreshments provided by Marella, which is why I'm talking about my disappointment. No towels, you know, virtually every cruise we've gone on, when you go on an excursion and you come back, or even if you've walked into town and you haven't even gone on an excursion, you come back, and before you get on the ship, there's all the stuff set up.
Cold water,
lemon water. Do you want a bottle of water? Do you want a wet, cold towel? All that sort of stuff. And there was there was none of that, which was disappointing. And Carole said to me, well, how could you remedy all the people turning up at the same time? I said, well, surely if you staggered, you just make sure that all the excursions don't come back at the same time. It's like, it can't be hard, can it? So instead of having 5 coach loads of people, well, there was easily 5, 6, 7 coach loads of people all came back at exactly the same time. You make sure that they're staggered. So one comes back 15 minutes later, the next one 15 minutes later, that sort of thing. I would have thought logistically that wouldn't be the biggest thing in the world. But I mean, there was people there. I mean, obviously we're just, you know, youngsters, but there were some older people there, and they were struggling to be fair, because if you've got mobility needs, there was no hiding place. So that was my only, you know, there was, like you said, there was a slowness of some of the bars when it was busy, but what I come away feeling genuinely disappointed with was that on the excursion. So if I'd have had to have a gripe, and I never said a word to anybody, but if I'd have had to have a gripe about something, that's what it would have been about.
Going back to the cut and blow dry, you can see here the salon, a shampoo and blow dry, £39. So it's £39.
Yeah, which is, and I have to say,
it's not expensive, really, is it?
It's not expensive on Marella at all, and they were having deals on, because I mean, we've been on like Carnival and Cunard and lines like that.
Crazy money.
It's like 300 quid for a massage.
We had a look around the spa actually, because we ran out of time to be able to do. We were trying to do everything, and we had a look around, and it was a lovely spa. They don't have a hydrotherapy pool, but they do have lovely different steam rooms, etc. And it looks all obviously brand new, which obviously it's their newer ship, but it was a lovely layout, wasn't it?
It was nice, yeah.
So let's see. So Jerry's asking, in your opinion, is Marella all-inclusive value for money? I think Marella prices have gone up. There's no doubt about that. They are more expensive than they used to be. However, I think what we were happy with what we paid and what we got included. And I like that when you get home, you don't have any unexpected bills like we did with Carnival.
No. And I think if you know, I've seen some bloggery person put on how to save money on a cruise, and it was like booking inside cabin. I thought, well, yeah, well, that's obvious, isn't it? But to have a reasonable cabin, like a ocean view,
well, we treat ourselves to a junior suite.
We had a junior suite, but you don't have to do that. But to have a reasonable cabin, even if because we did a tour of an ocean view cabin and it was nice.
Yeah.
So you could have an ocean view cabin, you get all your flights, you get all your transfers, you get all your drinks on the standard package, and you get all your food, excluding the specialty things. Yeah. And
I think it is.
I think
it's not as
no, it's
not
not
as money as it used to be.
It's not as cheap as P&O, but I reckon you could do that cruise with a ocean view for around about £1,000-ish.
Well, it depends. It depends on the one.
On the one we've just done, which to me, for a fly cruise, I think that represents reasonably good value for money. Yeah,
I think. I think that's right. But the price has definitely gone up. The price has gone up lots of places, haven't they? And you say, when you look at the base price, when you say, well, Marella, P&O, but P&O's base price is, oh my God, that's so much cheaper. But actually, when you add in all what's included in Marella, it's not far off, is it really? But
with P&O,
it's 40 minutes, Paul.
I'll say this quickly. With P&O now, especially Iona, I don't know about RVX, we haven't been on there, but on Iona, they positively encourage you to go to places where you've got to pay for food. And most of the places on there, you've got to pay extra for food. I mean, you've got the keys and obviously the main dining rooms, but a lot of the places...
Yeah, Marella, you've got Nonnas and you've got Abulas, and you've got different food venues that are included in the price. Going back to our cabins, just we've got 4 cabin tours now on our YouTube channel. So we've got our junior suite, we've got a balcony, we've got an outside and inside, and I just put a post together which encompasses them all on our website, so that if you're looking for deciding which cabin's best for you. I think what was lacking in the cabins, and I was a bit surprised thinking about things, was USBs. One passenger said they had USBs in their cabin, but the 4 that we see, we didn't see any USBs. No. And some cabins have US and Euro. Some ours just had Euro. So it was a bit of a mixed match, wasn't it? So, but yeah, now Dan's just put, because I did spot something about solo cruises. Now, with our group cruise, Dan tried very hard to get the solo fares down, and they're not as reasonable as we would like them to be. However, as Dan's quite put here, keep an eye, because booking's going to be kept open until final balance day. So we know that Princess do up and down their prices at times. So we were a bit gutted about that, but unfortunately pricing is out of our and Dan's control, sadly. And in Carole saying, what was the best bit? They're in their holiday cottage. So what was the best bit on Marella Voyager? We haven't talked about entertainment yet, and that was excellent.
The best bit, as in the places, I really like the electric rooms, which was great at night, but also nice and quiet in the day with good views across the front of the ship. We loved the summer house, which was at the back, so it was like a double-edged thing, because you had an outside aft area, which was just a bar area, and then inside there was another place that had entertainment, but that also had a retractable roof, so that could cater for whatever weather. We really enjoyed that, and we always found ourselves the last place we would end up was either the summer house or the electric rooms every night. That's where we ended up, one of those two. I love the kitchens. I love the concept of the kitchens. Anything else? Everything else is sort of like a lot of the places are on other ships, but are now by a different name. But they stood out for me.
Yeah. I'm just going to. There's so many questions here.
I've talked too much. I'll shut up now.
No, just Aiden's asking about would you advise for the pay extra restaurants? We thoroughly enjoyed Carole was amazing, Surf and Turf was amazing, and we enjoyed trying the Silver Fort. So actually, and platter for a £5 a head, just trying some different cheeses and meats and stuff. So it depends what your tastes are, and they weren't too expensive. I think Surf and Turf was £31.95, Silver Fort was £35.95, which we thought, actually, why is it more expensive than Surf and Turf?
£36.95.
Yeah,
and they also do a taster menu, which is £46.95, which I think is far.
We felt that was overpriced. We thought it should have been the same price as Surf and Turf, which you'll see in our reviews.
On Surf and Turf and Carole, which is obviously a stable on a staple, not a stable, it's not where horses live, on Marella ships.
Yeah.
A much changed menu than we've experienced in the past. So so we don't think if you've been to it in the past, you don't need to, because it was totally different. And interestingly, when we were in Carole, we had the two lads from Boys Life on the next table to us.
We did. Just behind, I was flapping. So Lisa's asking about how do Canadian travellers pay for the group cruise deposits. It can be done by credit card now, so just send Dan a message. We've got a page on our website, the group cruise. Just go there and you'll find Dan's email and he'll be able to help you out with that.
And he's available 24 hours a day.
No, he's not. He's available up until Friday, and then we've promised him we're not going to annoy him for 2 weeks, which is the reason why our
he's a part-timer. He's going on.
No, there's a reason why we've obviously our sale date is for the beginning of January, because Dan's on holiday and we didn't want him to be under pressure, so that's why we're doing
by the beginning of January. Carole means the beginning of July.
Did I say January?
Yes, you did.
Yes, July. Oh dear. So Life of the Parks is here. So lovely to see you guys here. Any update on the merchandise? Yes. So the lovely Nicola that we've been dealing with is she's sending us some samples. Should be on the way very, very soon. So that is exciting. So that's let's have a look, because so many questions.
I can't believe how fast it's gone, but I have been talking for most of that. I do apologise. It's such a flapper, man.
Gavin's asking about our videos. So, as I said, all our cabin reviews are on. This Friday, I wanted to put a review of the hotel that we stayed at. I had so many questions about, obviously, Marella Voyager, but we had so many questions about the hotel we stayed in Palma Nova. So I thought it might be prudent to get that video, because that was quite an easier one to put together. And today I've just started working on our vlogs. So they will be over, they will be out starting next week. So
so by the time you go, Gavin, hopefully...
Yes, you'll have them all.
We could well have... We've been trying a new thing where we used to do like 7 episodes. If we did a week cruise, we do 7 episodes. We're trying to cut that down to sort of 3 or possibly 4. So even if it is 4, you'll have at least 3 of them under.
Yeah, well, no, hopefully I want to get it all out before our next cruise, and our next cruise is July the 8th. So it should all be out by then, hopefully. Questions about formal nights. Now, Marella have dress to impress nights, don't they?
Yes.
And some people make all the effort and go to the tuxedo. Some people still have their shorts on. So actually, whatever you want to do, we didn't take our tuxedo and stuff, but we just took. Paul just took his blue jacket, and I just took some sort of more sort of glitzier tops and some trousers.
But if
than my regular dresses.
But if you wore the classic old penguin suit, dinner suit, you would definitely be in the minority.
Yeah,
and we did the only night we did in the main dining room was a gala night.
Yeah,
and they had some sort of. It was disappointing. It didn't feel very gala.
Yeah,
but they did have some options on the menu that were only available at specialty restaurants.
Yeah,
so you got to try some of those without having to pay. But I mean,
we presume for the gala night that some officers might appear and they might introduce their stuff, but nothing happened.
It was very,
but all that will be covered in our vlogs.
Very low key.
Yeah.
But even the gala night, people shorts, smart shorts, and shirts like this.
Morella's very casual. Yeah. Marella is like, you never feel under pressure to do anything what you don't want to do. So if you want to dress, there was some people in their football shirts, and it is. Yeah. Which I don't think is, but that's everyone's different, aren't they? So I think anything goes, I think, is what we need to say here. So Claire's asking about the exchange. The phone box were a great gimmick they were, and the wheelchair route. Yes, John and Willie just said as well. There's no steps, and they went with their mum and aunt, so that was good. In fact, for mobility, there's lots of people with mobility issues that didn't seem to have any. No. And also solo passengers. We got talking to Hazel, a lovely lady from the Facebook group, Marella Cruises All Ships, and she was having a ball. They do cater for solos apparently very, very well. So Oxtrot is saying, I hoard everything too. Dwayne goes mad. Yeah, I just, I'm not a hoarder as in around the house, but when it comes to paperwork and cruising, I just like to have my little boxes full of goodies.
I can understand, and of course,
Ah,
because Carol's
Shreds and Threads has a little box as well.
because Carol's a woman, obviously she's always right, and any men who are watching, they'll know that. But I can understand that she might want a receipt for a meal we've had, or, you know, this is like a menu. I can understand that special. But a boarding pass for EasyJet, I won't look at that in 30 years' time with a little tear in my eye thinking, oh, remember that, Annie? Remember they wanted £9 for a sandwich?
But I'll look at it and think, oh my God, that sandwich was good, wasn't it?
No, there's no way we would have bought one.
Unless
you bought one and ate it in the toilet.
Let's so Indie Guitar Man's asked, do you pay for your cruises? We do pay for the majority of our cruises. The only time we haven't paid for our cruises is when we've been invited on board, and that's only happened 3 times so far, 2 times. We've done it with Sail Croatia and with Avalon River Cruises. If we are invited to something, you'll always see ads on our posts and on our and there'll be a disclaimer on our website, but everything else we paid for ourselves.
Yeah, so I mean, we've done some ship visits and things like that,
but then you would see ads.
But actual out and out, come on a week-long cruise,
no,
we've only done, out of our 47
cruises, we've only done 2. But we've been invited on quite a few, but we just can't with everything. And it's so, you know, if we were inviting, it was a cruise that we felt would be useful to you guys, to the audience, then obviously we would do that. But at the moment, we've got nothing planned.
We've turned 3 down this year.
We have turned 3 down this year. Dave is asking, Dave McGee, nice to see you here. Was the show team as good as ever? New shows or similar to other Marella ships? Now, for those that don't know about Marella, they used to have Pure Talent doing their entertainment. Ted's taken over. Now, in our honest opinion, when Pure Talent was in charge of the entertainment, we loved the types of shows that they put on because it was more like West End shows like West Side Story, more dialogue. Now Ted's taken it over. I think the quality of singing and dancing and the props and stuff is good, but there's not as much dialogue in their shows as there used to be, which is our preference. However, the shows that we've seen, the first one, the new one that we've seen, we enjoyed, which was called something of Summer, Love of Summer.
Summer of Love.
Summer of Love.
Love of Summer.
And then Havana, they did a show called Havana Nights. And that blew us away. That was absolutely amazing. And then they did a rock show at the end on the last day, which we thoroughly enjoyed. But when we did compare it with rock opera on Princess, we did feel that Princess had the edge.
They did 4. Basically, they did 4 shows.
What was the
there was no dialogue in any of them. It was just song.
There was a loose story to it,
but there was no dialogue in between. What we loved. What really attracted us and made us love Marella was we were on the Discovery back in the day, and they had rubbish props to work with and rubbish costumes to work with, and anybody who worked on that show team will openly admit that, and we're still in touch with some of them, to be fair. But what they did is, like Carole said, shows like West Side Story, shows like The Full Monty. They did a sort of a Glastonbury-esque thing, which P&O do a similar thing now called Festivals.
Which isn't our favourite show.
But the one that Marella did, like, blew it out the water, to be fair. So we like that. The show team on the Voyager, they've definitely got better stuff to work with. They got fantastic costumes. They got a stage with, like, screens behind, you know, LED screens and all that. They got better stuff to work with. They still don't perform to live music, which I always feel takes a little bit away, but no Marella cruise we've ever done as the show team performed to live music is always a backing track. And like we were chatting with Johnny and Will after the Rebel Rock Sing, which was the rock show, and they thoroughly enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. But I just felt they could have had better song choices. But when you go and see
Queen,
things like that, but when you go and see rock opera on Princess, we've seen it with 2 different singers. We've seen it with Max Heimelrick and what's his face?
Ross Hunter.
Totally different. The same show, but different shows because they're different style of singers. And I have to say that blew the Marella rock show out of the water.
Yeah, it was still very good though. It sounds like we're being really,
honest,
really
so that's
well. We're being very, very picky, aren't we? But the standard of singing and dancing, we thought on the whole was very, very good.
But I have to say, the women were definitely better than the men.
Yeah,
the 3 female singers, one in particular was spectacularly good.
Yeah.
2 were fabulous. The 3 men, I felt they weren't bad.
They were good, but they weren't.
But they definitely got outshone by the women.
Yeah. But it was thoroughly enjoyable.
But if I could sing like any of them, I'd be over the moon.
Well, exactly that. The Broadway Show Lounge we loved because you can take a drink in there, and they have a trestle table. Trestle table
with sandwiches on and pork pies.
So you can take a drink in, and you can sit. They've got seats that aren't individual seats; they're like sofa seats, which is nice. And you've got little tables where you can put your drink. So it's all very very comfortable and very nice, isn't it? The Broadway Show Lounge. So, and in between the entertainment team, we had Martin Daniels, who is the magician, who's son of Paul Daniels. We had obviously Boys Life. There was also a lady on who was doing Dusty Springfield tribute, which we didn't go to because we were busy elsewhere on the ship. So the variety of entertainment we felt was good. Yeah. So because time looks.
We can just quickly on Patricia, because we've obviously touched on that, but I like it when we get a question. Yes, as we said earlier,
we've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah, fab.
Claire's asking, is Shane Duffy lush in real life? With Keith Duffy, yes. He is.
I'm trying to think who Shane Duffy is. Oh, come on, Google, Claire. You should know better than that.
Who's Shane Duffy? Don't know. Yes, so going to our Palma hotel, we stayed in Globalis Santa Lucia, which the video's going out tomorrow. So make sure you watch that. It proved to be a very good choice for us. We were there for 3 nights on a half-board basis in Palma Nova. And it was perfect actually, because we'd had quite a few late nights on the ship, and cruising I love, but it's busy, aren't you? Because you don't want to miss out. And it was a perfect end, because as soon as we got to our hotel, we just chilled out. We had a nice meal. We went for a walk along the lovely promenade, because the hotel was surrounded by beaches, and we had just snuggled up in bed. And Paul managed to watch the football, didn't you? The FA Cup, not the FA Cup. What was it? Some sort of big match.
I love my wife dearly. So we're watching the Champions League final.
That's it. That's the one.
And it's Man City against Inter Milan. And Carole said, "Is this an FA Cup game?" And as she said it, she said, "Oh, I'm a silly Billy." Just to go back to Google, Claire, Alfie is probably shouting at the screen now, because Shane Duffy is a footballer who plays for Fulham.
Yes. So let's see. Pip's saying about the phone, but it looks like Trouble with Johnny and Will have already answered that, because there are screens around, which exactly that. Paul Brown's here, not the bass player. Paul's a guy that came up to us on the cruise, and we laughed so much, didn't we? Because
this is why we love all you lot out there.
Yes,
because we have a laugh for you, and we take the Mickey, and you take the Mickey back.
Yeah,
but long story short, Paul Brown, we've got a friend called Paul Brown who's a bass player.
Yeah.
And the first time Paul Brown came on it, because he hasn't got a picture, and I said, "Oh, you're not the bass player, are you?" And obviously we joke about, like, John Lewis comes on here now and again. He hasn't got a shop apparently, and if there's any sort of thing we can sort of link, or gives us good memories from the past, we'll always mention it. He came straight up to us on the cruise and said, "My name's Paul Brown, not the bass player."
So look, thank you so much for coming up and saying hi. And to everyone that came up, we had so many people come up to say hi. So please, if you ever see us on a cruise, don't feel like, we don't want to interrupt.
And Paul also had a tooth malfunction like me.
He did.
So hopefully you've been sorted. I got sorted yesterday. But
yeah, he did. Rose is asking about the group cruise. Do I need to pay a deposit now for the group cruise? No, just fill the pre-registration form in, so Dan's got all the information. So when booking opens on the 1st of July, you'll have everything there.
So
and then
do the pre-reg in the order of which they were received.
We buffered a bit then,
I know.
We?
And that's trying to tell us to get off when you got a minute to go. Yeah, so the pre-reg is Dan will respond to in order of which they were received, and then you can deposit.
Hello, we seem to have been a bit of not our internet again. We thought we sorted that out. So hopefully we're back, and we're back in the room. Yeah. If you could let us know we are, because I'm going to go through more comments because there's so many here. Let us know if we are Yeah, Norfolk Boy said he's a footballer.
Yeah, he did play
Just
for
so
Fulham.
you're back.
He's an Irish international.
Yes, thank
who
you,
was
thank
playing
you.
for
I don't know
Fulham.
what that was about.
Did I really say Shane Duffy? Well, you've written it, Claire, so
You
there's no
did.
escaping now.
Yes, Shane Lynch and Keith Duffy. Oh, that would be lush. Because Shane's the other one out of Boyzone with all the tattoos.
Yeah, Shane Lynch is the one who sort of dabbled a bit with motorsport, I believe. Yeah, but he is very tattooy, isn't he?
Gavin said the group crew is going to be. Do you know? I think it is going to be great fun. So,
so when we get on the group cruise, and you meet Dan for the first time, you'll look at him and say, "Well, on all your pictures, you haven't got a grey beard and grey hair." But by that time, he will have.
So, are there many vloggers? We can't. There are. Yes, there are. Oh, it's very exciting. So, but we don't want to spoil the surprises. So,
Carole kept saying to me today, "Whatever you do, if I start mentioning any names, because you already blurted out like." You know, yes. I'm sure that the princess team's going to look after us. And it's like, the who, sorry?
So who is Dan, the agent we use? Dan is a lovely man that we met on Sky Princess a few years ago, and we've been using him ever since. His contact details are all in the description. So if you do want to book a cruise for him, we thoroughly recommend because he looks after us so well. Corinne says 47. She's you'll be overtaking me soon, though. She's done 47 cruises. Did you take the song? But he knows me so well, look. Oh.
Of course she took. Did you not realise that she was a tea leaf? We took everything.
Let me see if I can find
We tried even, because the bed in our cabin's bigger than ours, we tried getting that in our suitcase.
No, it didn't. Look. Yeah. Yes, so we can all do a sing-along.
So my wife, look, she's the master criminal. So she's stolen something, and now she's just showed it to the world.
I'm sure that Marella won't mind us. There's a nice souvenir.
Yes.
Oh, dear. So let's just have a look through. Yeah, Claire's saying there's 266 watching, only 110. Yes, please give us a...
Well, maybe, Claire, 156 of them haven't liked it.
Well, maybe. Let's have a look. So, thanks. Not stay. Is it possible to watch your cruise? All our cruises are in. This is a good question. People say, where can we find certain cruises? You can obviously do it by searching our playlists. And that's the best way to go through our. If you want to find our particular ship or a particular cruise company, then go to our playlist on YouTube, or go to our website, and there's a drop-down menu of all the cruise companies, and on there I put all our vlogs or all our videos in different posts. So if you're looking for a particular cruise line like Royal Caribbean, Saga, whatever it might be, then you'll find them in those places, because YouTube doesn't make it easy when you're just when you put up the videos page. Scotters is here. Hi, Scotters. Would you have dropped the hotel stay to remain on board? I would have loved to have stayed on for another week, but I would still like to have done the 3-day hotel, because we've come back very refreshed, haven't we? I think sometimes I get off a cruise and I think, oh my God, it was so full on and so much going on. We've come back, I think, really and
I think when it's a fly cruise as well,
yeah,
that's that adding them 3 days on the end is fabulous.
So let's just have a look.
But yes, another week would have been, and there were people on there who kept rubbing it into us, saying that they were on for another week. So
I know. Well, Terry from Marella Cruise Ship's still on there, and he's still posting. So, but that's a great Facebook group if you want to know about Marella. And Rob says, such shame do not offer fly cruises from the UK. Exactly. We've been saying this since we did one in 2019, isn't it?
Yeah,
it would be because it would be so popular, because they're a great project. They're a fun project. They don't pretend to be anything posh, anything glitzy. They're just a good traditional sort of British type cruise with some fun entertainment and some good food. It's not 5-star. I would say it's between a 3 and a 4-star, and that suits us, doesn't it? It's great.
Just to confirm, somebody in one of the Marella groups, I think she was a travel agent, and she asked the question, is there any plans to bring the Voyager to the UK for like a press thing, and somebody who obviously works for Marella responded, there's no plans at all for any Marella ships to be coming to the UK at this moment in time.
Which is a shame.
So it's not something that's on the horizon either, which is another ship, I believe, isn't it?
Let's see. Sean said it's great live. Thank you so much. Oh, you're still in Spain. Oh, wow. You seem to have been there a long time. But we just want to say thanks ever so much for joining us for our live. Next week's live is going to be Paul's leaving me for the weekend because he's off racing. I think he's off to Tennessee, aren't you?
Oh my God, mate! I'll tell you something. Your accents. You're like the master. You're like the master of accents. Yes, I'm going to Red Roses in South Wales, which is just the other side of Carmarthen.
Yes.
Quite close to Pendine Sands
for
a week for the first British Championship round of the season.
Yes.
And what's great about it is currently I'm lying joint first in the British Championship because they haven't had any racing yet. But that also means I'm joint last.
But the point of talking about this is to say our live next week is going to be on Tuesday. So I'll make sure I put that all over our social media. So put that in your diary if you want to join us again. Another great live, folks. But so it was. Oh, because Trouble with Johnny Will, I don't know if you know her from Belfast. They've got the most wonderful Irish accent. And you said to them, well,
when I'm sure it was Johnny Will, they were on a live and they put some comments on, and because I'd like to think I'm slightly better at accents than Carole, but the only Irish accent I can do is Jim McDonald at a Coronation Street, and he would go, "So it is, Earl, as well, biggity biggity bong, so it is," and particularly Johnny out of Johnny and Will said, "We don't even say so it is." So I said to him, every time you say "so it is" now for the rest of the cruise, you have to give me £10. He currently owes me £140. So for somebody who doesn't say "so it is," he said it quite a lot.
Yes.
So now, obviously, it's a standing joke.
And for Linda Jones, who said that she couldn't make the live and she just wanted to know, was it as good as previous Marella cruises? I want to finish off by saying that we cruised back with Marella. We had a fabulous time. There are some differences, but we will definitely be cruising with Marella again.
Yes, definitely. It was fabulous.
So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Then we will see you next Tuesday. And then we'll be looking forward to our next cruise with more news about that coming soon. More like Jeffro than Jim. What's that? You know? Anyway.
I don't think it sounded Cornish, but still. Anyway, I'm off out to cut some trees down.
Yeah. Cheers then.
Bye-bye.
Catch you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.